This episode contains brief mention of animal abuse in the Babadook section. Listener discretion is advised.
As a disclaimer, Monster Fuckers Anonymous is indeed about wanting to love and have sex with monsters, but we want to make things extremely clear from the get-go. The monsters we will be selecting will be sentient and able to consent. Not all of the chosen monsters will be sapient, but we will not be endorsing zoophilia or bestiality. Anthropologically, monsters all around the world, and media representations of them, have had many racial and sociological implications. We will be as transparent and ethical as possible, while also sex-positive and mostly having fun.
Monsters. Creatures feared all around the world in folklore and myths. Terrifying beings such as the fiendish and frightening fae, demonic devils, sultry sirens, hazardous harpies, and countless chaotic creatures coming from crevices of every continent. As long as stories have existed, there's been one pressing question that has remained unanswered by scholars for generations. One powerful thought that has plagued our minds for millennia. Can we fuck these monsters? That is what we're here to find out today. Welcome to Monster Fuckers Anonymous.
One and all to the return of MFA, aka Monster Fuckers Anonymous, a show we talk about monsters, talk about their lore, talk about everything about them, and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 of whether or not you, yes, you listening, yes, I know you're listening right now, whether or not you should be having sex with those monsters. Some are good, some are bad, some are mid, but all of them are sexy. Now, I am one of your co-hosts of this amazing podcast, the colorful creature consultant cleric, here to talk about all the monsters, give them weird scenarios, make it colorful for everybody. Everyone gets a picture, vivid images in their mind. That's what I do. But a one-person podcast, I don't think I can do this all alone. Of course, I can carry the monster fucking bag on my shoulders, but you need to share the burden, which is why with me, as always, the amazing, the incomparable, the technical troubadour of tentacle tenaciousness, our technical analyst, Joe.
Cleric, don't get mad. I'm hungover.
I know. We were in a call last night. You were 100% hungover. There's no way you weren't.
There was a moment. I also got high. So there was a moment.
No, you were literally.
There was a moment where I was just like, I can't open my eyes, and my eyes were closed while on call. And then Cleric was like, "Go to sleep," and I was like, "No, it's just that I can't open my eyes." And then
we sat there. I watched Joe be like, "I'm drunk, get higher," and then literally like, "I can't open my eyes." I'm like, Joe, we have a recording. We have things to do.
I'm alive. I'm here. That's
You're something. But first of all, welcome back, everybody. I know we're super excited to be back and recording. I'm super hyped. I'm very excited. I know Joe is. This is the first episode return, so if we're getting on our feet, please bear with us. For those of you who don't know how the show works, we take monsters, we talk about everything about them, and then we rate them on a scale that we call the Popo scale, which we will get into while we're in the episode, and then we put them against this big list that we have of how fuckable these monsters are. Now, we abide by the Harkness test. If you don't know what that is, look it up yourself, so we don't gotta explain it to you. But we abide by those rules when picking monsters and deciding monsters, so that is our metric for everything. So now that we're here, Joe, it's finally the return. What are we talking about as our big return episode?
So that's an interesting question, Cleric, because...
What the fuck do you... Oh my... Joe. Do you not have a topic?
It might be something related to monsters.
Joe, are you just too hungover to remember what our topic is?
No, I just give me the whole hour.
Oh, okay. No, I can't do this. Give me a second. I know what I'm going to do. Boop, 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 boop. Kez, in post, I want you to add you yourself making a ringing noise. Okay? Like, bring, bring. You have to make that noise. I don't want to add this in the episode. You have to do that. So we're going to give it one. Hello? Yeah. Is this guest hotline where you give me guests for our podcast? Yeah. I need a cool person, cool podcaster who fucking knows about monster fucking, wants to get the hat trick of fuck, marry, kill monsters, and has a cool topic for me and my co-host to talk about. Huh? You have someone? They're knocking on my door right now? Oh, they've just kicked in my door. Holy shit, is that RK Wilde?
Yes, it is. It is RK Wilde, here to talk to you about monster fucking.
Did you have to kick in my door, though?
And so suave, too.
Yes, I did. Unfortunately, it was blocking my entrance, and always be dramatic.
You know what? So true. But yes, today, as our first guest in our return episode, it is the incomparable RK Wilde. Do you want to shout out the things you do? Want to talk a little bit about yourself before we jump into it?
Yeah, sure. I'm RK Wilde. I am a podcaster, a streamer, a safety consultant, and a bunch of other stuff all in the TTRPG space. I am the co-creator of Prism Pals, also the creator and director of Fear and Living Color, and most recently, the keeper of a stream called Camp Carnage on Friends Who Roll Dice, which is a Monster of the Week horror campaign. So I'm all over the place. I do a lot of different things.
Absolutely incredible. So, RK, Joe seems to have forgotten the topic we're supposed to talk about today. Do you have a topic that you want to talk about? What kind of monster you want to talk about?
I do have a very simple topic. It's one that is very near and dear to my heart because a lot of what I do is based in this kind of genre. I'd love to talk about some horror movie monsters.
Ooh, okay. Love that. Love horror monsters. Actually, I don't. I'll be real. I don't know why I was going to lie to everyone right now. I actually am
a pussy.
Humongous bit. Yeah, I'm a pussy. When it comes to horror movies and stuff, no. I watched Nope recently, and there was a scene in Nope where it got like super scared. Like there was like a very tense scene, and like it turns out it was a joke scene, and I was scared shitless in that joke scene. So,
I know exactly which scene you were talking about.
Yeah.
And there's a moment in that scene where I was just laughing my ass off because it was so funny. But yes, I completely understand that. My partner is also a big baby when it comes to horror movies and needs people next to him. So if you ever need to watch a horror movie, I'm here for you, Cleric.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's end the recording right now.
Okay.
Joe, how do you feel about horror?
Oh, I love horror. I think the only problem is that I love horror literature, horror like animations and things like that. When it comes to like video games where you're like fully immersed in a scene or like in a movie, especially a theater I hate missing shit. If I have to go to the bathroom for an expensive ass fucking ticket because I have a body that processes liquids and foods and I'm missing something, it's just like, there's no point for me to go to a movie theater at this point if I'm going to watch something that I want to take my time with. So movies are admittedly hard, and video games as well, but I love like horror games in general, TTRPGs, love metaphors.
Yes, and a lot of monsters are metaphors for man?
And other things.
And abstinence.
Oh, okay. Because sex is a sin. So this podcast, hopefully we don't get murdered while we're doing it. Kez, I want you to add the shing, the shing, shing, shing sound in the background when I say that, and a little bit of thunder, even though it's completely sunny out for everyone, I think, involved here. And if you don't do that, you're not getting paid. No, I'm kidding.
For a scale of where I fall when it comes to horror stuff, most of the content I create, besides Prism Pals, is horror-based. I love horror movies, horror games, and everything. A lot of my friends don't like the fact that I don't find some games scary. For example, Phasmophobia, which is a very popular horror game, right. I find comedic. I find it almost hilarious to play that game. And all of my friends find it very scary. I, however, do not. The lights flicker on and off, and I shout the ghost's name, and then one of my friends accidentally dies in the game. It's very funny to me.
You're a menace.
I always die.
Menace.
Absolutely.
I think Joe recently revealed to me that they tried to summon a demon on Discord voice call, and I was like, that's brujeria. I ain't fucking with that. That's 100% that. I ain't trying to do any of that. Being levels of horror appreciation in this call, so I think the scores are going to be all over the place this episode. So how this goes works is I have a monster, Joe is about a monster, and RK is about a monster, and we're going to talk about each of them, and we're going to get our scores, and we're going to see at the end who has the best horror monster to do the upside down tango with. So, Joe, would you like to start us off today?
Yeah, I'm going to bring up a very chill, very like sweet and approachable looking monster. This specific movie is one of my comfort movies. It's just like a totally normal movie. I'll be talking about The Incarnation of Death from the 2018 remake of the film Suspiria.
I'm sorry, what?
Although death is a constant symbol in all cultures, the figure named Death in the 2018 film Suspiria is an incarnation born from the three witch mothers who preside over the magical world. She is a tall, skeletal figure whose body is a maze of veins and bones bound tightly against a thin layer of skin. Her eyes and nails both pierce the soul. She acts as the ultimate arbiter of the film as she murders the corrupt members of the Witch House of Tears.
This is your comfort movie?
This is my comfort movie.
Why? Why is this your comfort? I want you to break that down for me, genuinely.
Okay, I'm going to keep this very, very short. I don't know how I'm going to do that because this movie is like a 2-hour long like art piece TM. It's about witches. There's like historical fiction. Dakota Johnson is in it. Mia Goth is in it. Tilda Swinton is in it. Tilda Swinton plays like 3 different characters in this movie. And it's just like it is admittedly like a very beige, like Western sort of movie in terms of the color, but the themes are all like, there's mostly women in the cast. The themes are about hysteria and women being witches and the concept of dancing, like modern dance as a form of witchcraft and spellcraft. It's just all very beautiful. And themes of war and infighting of secret societies and such. It's just such a captivating movie. There's like 3 different languages spoken at all times. And what death represents, although is not the most symbolic of anything in particular, she just comes at like, to me, a very beautiful moment. She does murder a bunch of women.
A beautiful moment.
A beautiful moment. Yeah, I'll show you just a fun little scene later. But yeah, she has such kind eyes, doesn't she?
That's what you describe as kind eyes.
Uh-huh.
So she just doesn't have the like tissues that like surround the eye sockets, which is like, nobody's perfect, you know?
Are you saying she doesn't have like tear ducts?
Yeah, she can't blink.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Well, at least you always know where she's looking.
Yeah, of course.
Eye contact will be big in the relationship.
She is wet with blood. She's losing her hair. She doesn't need hair. It's fine. She can just get rid of the hair. But her loyalty to a cause and her purpose is like a very intense person, which I love personally. And she's tall.
Okay. I have some thoughts.
Uh-huh.
A lot of which are negative.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, her skin, like vein bone situation acts also as like a dress.
That's fun. That's very fun.
Okay. Again,
we love a fashion queen.
Lady Gaga fucking shit. Absolutely.
Y'all cannot be serious right now.
What is your question?
They're not questions. There's just mostly a lot of statements. 1, no. 2,
you hate women.
Oh, you can't do this again.
I need you to expand on this. No.
Okay, so I want to break out on a lot of things. 1, does she speak? Can she talk? Because when I'm looking at the image that I have it on, like the image that you sent, her mouth is sealed open by veins?
Yeah, she can communicate though. Like she's able to understand. Like, so
she's an eldritch horror who will speak in my mind.
Of course.
Can she speak through her nosussy?
Her nosussy? That's a great question.
RK, it's been great having you. It's just.
She doesn't speak in the movie, but like the way that she does communicate is just like there's a scene where she puts her hand up against like she's like in the basement or something, and she's like feeling the energy of one of the witches that's like dancing on the top floor, and the witch feels the presence of her and just like presses her body against the floorboards to like be closer to death. And it's just like what a lovely moment of like feeling.
The more I look at the image you've sent, the more grossed out I get. Because it's just so veiny and like bulbous. Mm-hmm. So okay, I'm trying to think of a personality and like how dating this, like it being with this, the embodiment of death would go. And from the description you've given me, And I'd like to paint a picture. What image did you just send? This is not better.
She looks great in red.
I was gonna make an inappropriate joke.
This is the show for it.
This photo makes me think, like, this is what you have to be worried if her time of the month ever comes.
No, absolutely.
She does kind of murder.
She honestly, she does kind of just look like a clump of dead uterine lining.
I hate this episode. How is this our return episode? No. I like to think that this monster is very much like just you're like very stoic, very just like communicates more through body language, which is hot. You know, that's like we've talked about that before. Like being able to read one's body and be close to them while like being intimate is very hot. So I think that's a very like it's a plus on there. I'm trying to think of like a personality that goes with this. It just feels like they're.
I mean, I can take a stab at it because this is my fucking monster.
Well, sure. I'll give you, take your stab at it, and then I'll tell you what I think the personality is.
Cool.
You're not gonna
Hold on. I have a question. Why did I only receive this GIF?
Because Claire would not have been happy if there wasn't a spoiler.
Send it. All right. So what? Okay.
So you see here, she's bowing to the Mother of Tears in her reverence. And her understanding, she's respectful. She knows she's, to a degree, I would say that this is perhaps a more traditional person. But if you are into a service top, if you're into someone that is subservient in the way of like, this is a tall motherfucker that is intense, is very strong, will worship you in any sort of manner that you deem respectful and graces you yourself. There's a scene in another movie I don't recommend watching, but there's the way that they describe like one of the lovers in this movie is that he's like a jaguar. Like he is the type of music that makes you feel strictly like sexual power. Like I think she's definitely maybe needs a little role play, definitely needs like some power dynamic there to really feel into it. But like regardless, this is a partner that focuses on you specifically in a moment.
Okay.
And love that.
Okay. I want to ask you, how are you feeling about this monster? Like off rip.
Just off the bat, I feel like this is a win-win.
Oh my god.
Because either you have a great time or she kills you.
Yeah.
And that I feel like is
These
very
are not wins, people. I don't know how many times I have to say this in this show. Being murdered by your lover is not a win.
I love that you have to say it actually truly so many times.
It's real. This is like the 8th episode. We're 17 episodes in. I think I've said it once every episode.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's the thought of not having to pay bills anymore. You know?
Oh my god. I get it, but also, come on.
But I get it. I get it for this character.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the like covered in blood thing is a bit of a deal breaker for me. I also especially I don't know how they would act around other people. Like this feels like someone who always needs a dynamic going, even outside of the bedroom.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is something that like I think is a deal breaker for me.
Totally.
Yeah, there is no separation of like, hey, we're just being out and like we're just trying to relax.
Church and state.
Church and state.
Yeah,
the social life and the pussy.
Yeah, the social life and the pussy should have the true separation that America needs.
Yes.
Social life.
I fucking can't do that.
And the
OC. But yeah, so I don't think there's like everyone said that there's going to be no separation. They're going to be very much in that entirely. Like, hey, you'll be at a fucking Denny's. And they'll be like, what do you want me to do? You're going to eat this now. It's like, what? Like, no, I want to.
No, you tell her what to do. That's
okay. That's even more. It's like, what am I eating? It's like, I don't know. What are you in the mood for? What do you want me to be in the mood for? It's like, I don't know. Fucking pancakes, a grand slam.
I do agree. I do.
A fucking sizzler? What do you want?
yeah, like make a choice here. It's like, no, I want. Tell me what I want. It's like, okay, then you're getting bacon. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, well, I don't want that. What do you want? I also have another personality for this one before we jump into the Papa scale.
Sure.
One that I don't think you're going to like. because you mentioned
I don't like
something-
you.
I mean, I don't like you either. So, this is not really any skin off my back.
Any skin off my balls.
Any skin off my OC. So, you mentioned that the Embodiment of Death just straight up started killing women.
Because they're corrupt members of the Witch House of the Tears. Because they were being bad. They were being bad little witches.
They were being bad little witches. Okay, so I think, all right, maybe that takes away my little personality here, which I was going to say is an Andrew Tate fan.
No, it seems more like she's interested in justice if she's rooting out corruption.
No, yeah, she is. And you are God. You are the justice.
Okay, so then that changes a lot of things, because then it's your definition of what justice is, because if that's the case, that doesn't mean this is like a righteous person. This just means like, hey...
Righteous to your cause.
Why are you temuing me?
No. I'm saying if you decided you wanted to take the law into your own hands for whatever reason, cleric, this person is unconditionally like, you're right.
That's not good, though. That's a very toxic dynamic.
I know what this is. This is the main female character from Greece who just becomes exactly like the main guy.
Yeah. R.I.P. Olivia Newton-Johnson.
Yes, to like become like him. That's what this is. She will change herself to match whatever you want.
That's bad.
Yes, that is bad.
That's not good. So I think I want to jump into the Papa scale with that statement just being on our minds.
Okay.
For our listeners, Papa scale is a scale that we use that has possibility. Fuck me, I forgot our own scale.
You can look at the spreadsheet that I fucking.
My computer will fucking die if I do that.
Okay. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, you do it. I'll tee you up.
So possibility has to do with like how possible is it for you to like access this monster? Are there like geographical, physical limitations? Where's the pussy on it? I'm just kidding. But like just many of the factors that relate to the general average concept of possibility. Attractiveness, how attractive we deem it. Audacity, how audacious is it to pursue this monster in any capacity? The lower the scale, the more audacious, the higher, the least audacious. And parental acceptance, because Cleric and I, are two little fucking second generation immigrant cucks that have Christian parents, so we have to take it into consideration if we don't want to get disowned. Hey, there's three of us. Let's go.
Same hat.
Yeah, and then our overall score, we average out all of the possibility, attractiveness, audacity, and parental acceptance, and then we average it out throughout the three of us.
So I have a question about the scale, which I know this has nothing to do with the actual recording of the podcast.
Okay.
Is the reason you include overall into the name so you don't call it the Papa scale?
Possibly.
Okay.
No, I'll be real. I don't think we ever thought of that. We think it was just, we were like,
I did think of it. I don't think I ever said it though. Like I was just like, I don't want it to be the Papa scale.
The Pop? Would it be Pop? It would be Pop. Oh, that's gross. Yeah, I don't want to say that. I know when I was thinking about it, I was like, we just need to have an overall because we just like have 4 scores. What the fuck do we do with
right.
them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the possibility of death. I will say you do have to be the Witch Mother of Tears or a part of the 3 mothers of the magical world.
And how possible is that, Joe?
I mean, there's only 3 mothers.
Okay, and how likely is it for you to be a witch in this scenario?
It's pretty likely, but
okay. What I talked about this in a previous episode, and I really want to bring this back up.
Okay,
your definition of what's pretty likely is broken.
If it's possible.
No, okay, all right. 5 is the average number. 5 is like I could walk down the street and maybe this can happen. That is what average means.
In this day and age, absolutely.
Oh my fucking God.
In 2022. This was during like the 60s or something.
It's even less possible then.
The amount of witches in 2022.
I had to time travel?
No. The 3 mothers definitely are still alive right now. I mean, in this case,
it's probably like, if I had to guess, like the Supremes of like AHS Coven.
Yes.
Like it's a title that gets transferred down, I would assume.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
the 3 mothers would still exist, but I will agree with Cleric once, and just this once, that there are a lot of people on this planet, and the possibility of being one of 3.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Joe, with that, with RK's approval behind my back, I am empowered. Your score cannot be higher than a 5. Because 5 is
fair.
average.
That's
5 is
fair.
average.
That is so fair. That's why I'm going to say 3 out of 10. Because 3.
I hate this show.
You said it just can't be. It just can't be. It can't be above 5 for me. So it's 3.
The fact that I can't even refute you is what pisses me off the most.
Yeah, you can try it.
Yeah. RK, what do you think is for possibility?
For possibility, I'm not going to go with a 3 because I feel like, I'm sorry, Joe, but that's a little too high.
It is high.
I'm going to give it like a 1.5 because maybe you can find one of the 3 mothers on LinkedIn and ask them to hook you up.
Why LinkedIn? Why?
They need successors.
Yeah.
Of all the, all right, I'm gonna let you rock with it. I think I'm gonna agree with RK like a 1.5 because again, you have to be one of 3 in a witch coven, and like I know witches are more accepted now in 2022. It might be more accepted to like find a Facebook group where they're like, "Hey, witches and like the 3 mothers, and like come join us." But rising through the ranks is difficult, and then actually summoning the spirit of death is also not there. And then also something I was thinking about, I don't know what everyone else is thinking about. Like, can you even fuck the spirit of death?
Is she like, okay, so I haven't watched this movie, but is it like she touches you and you die? Or like, what is the rules here?
You are muted,
Joe. Is
Joe.
Muted, yeah.
You're muted in Zencaster.
Zencaster.
We are a very professional production team here at MFA.
No, I'm so sorry. I fucking lost my tab. What was the question?
Can you like touch this death,
Yes.
or will it like instantly kill you?
You could. It's not that you touch her and you die. She just kills people with her own facilities. So like she is death because she is like the arbiter of it. But like just because you touch her doesn't necessarily mean anything.
So then let me ask, in the movie, does anyone touch her and survive?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like one of the witches, not one of the corrupt witches. I mean, the witches that survive are the ones that are not corrupt. The ones that did not vote for the false mother. Like death just sort of like caresses this old lady's like forehead, and like she also like kisses someone in the movie also. So like that with her non-mouth she kisses someone. Okay. So like she has the instinct to kiss.
Okay,
so
I relent a lot. I relent a lot of that then.
Yeah,
I would say you could bang then.
Okay, so I'm gonna give that a 1.5. I'm gonna stick with a 1.5 for possibility. For attractiveness, I'm gonna do a first for the show. This is a 0.5.
That's not a 0, I guess. That's not a 0.
Is 0 even an option?
No,
it's not. We're not allowed to do zeros. But a 0.5. The reason being, I will break it down it's 1. This is gross to look at. I'm gonna be real. There's a lot of like, I don't ever like to say anything is super like ugly. Like it's attractive to somebody. This is gross for me to look at. There's a lot of veins. I'm not a big fan of veins, just in general, on like veiny things. Not a big fan of that. And then also the fact that she can just caress me and kill me. Not a fan of that.
Only if she slits your throat with her own nails.
Wow.
I'm good. I'm okay.
It's only that.
But cleric, you could have the little death with the big death.
Exactly.
Y'all need help. I can make phone calls for everybody. We can do this together. we can have this conversation.
RK, I'm very interested in what you think as far as attractiveness.
I feel like I'm gonna have to put her at a 2, mainly because of the fact of like, in the photos you've sent us, she looks either slimy or sticky, and those are 2 feelings that I do not enjoy.
Oh yeah, no.
That's fair.
Like, especially the first picture you sent us, she has like this sheen about her that I'm just very uncomfortable with.
No, oh my god, I just imagine like you like be like, hey babe, let's like come here and like give her a hug and like
like suddenly your shirt is now like soaked in something that you cannot identify.
It's like a thin like film just on your shirt, and he's like, it's like, oh no, I'm good. Joe, what's your score? I'm scared about this one, but what is it?
So don't get mad. 6.
I'm not mad. I think that makes sense for you.
The temptation to slam my laptop close was so
To just slap me.
To just like slam the laptop close. Just like a 6.
Mm-hmm.
What is like
she's tall. No, I'm not. I'm gonna stop saying she's tall. She's kind eyes. She has no nose. She has no hair, no skin. No, I think the purpose
you've described nothing attractive.
The purpose of her
a skeleton that you've tossed googly eyes onto.
Yeah, I did. A skeleton that has only like the last layer of skin that you can have on a person before they're just bone. No, the purpose is just more attractive to me. Like, I mean, obviously she's horrifying, but I think there is a beautiful level of monstrosity once you've overcome the like material fear of that, like the human fear of that, and go past to the purpose that she stands for something. I think that's beautiful. I think death in general is a concept that needs to be, although she viscerally murders people, needs to be demystified. I love it. I love her.
I don't have the energy to tell you no. I really don't.
And I don't have the receptiveness for you to say no either. So we can move on.
Like I said, I support you.
Thank you so
in
much.
This choice.
Thank you so much.
Let's go on to audacity. How audacious it is to be with this monster. How, like, this is a 1. It's the spirit of death.
That's fair.
She
The
should've
incarnation,
murdered
the personification.
The personification of death, who summons things and like murders them, and is like barely this gotta be a 1. It can't be higher than like a 3.
This is one where I'm going to disagree with you, Cleric. I think this is like a 5.
Interesting.
Okay.
I feel like it's more audacious to be with someone who's just an asshole. Like, I would be more frustrated by that than being like someone being with death. Because like, it truly doesn't seem like she's going around killing everyone for funsies. She's doing it with her like own sense of justice that she's gotten from you or whoever summoned her. Okay. So like, I think I can support that. And it's not like anyone here is going around killing anyone as far as I know. So I think a 5 is good. And I support that. If I saw them walking on the street, I'd be like, oh, that's you and your goth GF. Congratulations. Versus how I would react if someone was walking down the street with Jared Leto, where I'd be like, ew, what are you doing?
Yeah. You know what? Since you RK, I agree. That's a very valid reason. Totally understand. Joe?
Is your score still a 1?
I'll do a 2. I'll up it to a 2. I think I'm being a little bit mean this episode since we're coming back. I'll do a 2.
I was gonna say 2, but because RK brought up a very good point. It's funny because I actually don't know if I want to say 5. I think it's still showing up with her, or like even deciding to summon. There's a level of your own audacity, I think. Like I feel like you like, it's like one of those TikToks that it's just like, I am like the socially approachable partner, and then there's like my tall, extremely scary, murderous girlfriend. I'm gonna say 4.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 4.
I think 4 is fine. 4 seems reasonable and just like understandable. All right. So last one is parental approval. So if we live in a world where we can bring this monster to our front door, and our parents that's at least possible to bring this monster to our front door, would our Christian immigrant parents approve of this monster? And the answer is a resounding no.
No.
It's the spirit of fucking death. My parents would literally, I'd open the door, see that, my mother would say, Brujeria, scream, get like a priest, get a pastor, and start performing exorcisms on me and everyone. And while I'm having a great time being like, I don't want all that, still, genuine fear. So it has to be a 1. Like this one too.
There would be genuine fear, and like also I feel like it would invoke an almost like militaristic response from my parents, which my parents have never been like super supportive of the military, but I think that would inspire them.
They would start believing.
They would start believing. So yeah, I would have to give her 1 as well. You bring her around to the family, and you're not getting invited back.
No,
you're not getting in through the front door. Absolutely no.
Yeah, you're getting disowned. Disowned.
There's another way that doesn't happen. Joe?
Yeah, it's a 1.
Okay.
She's slippery, covered in blood. No skin, bone. You know, this is something from Revelation.
It really is.
This might as well be the Whore of Babylon to fucking Christians. Like,
yeah. So we got 1s across the board. Beautiful. And now that we have all our scores, we're going to add them all together to figure out our overall scores. So this is where we're going to pause for math.
Welcome to the new break zone. I wanted to move ads away from the beginning of the episode so that people could go right into listening to Cleric and Joe talking about whatever it is they talk about. But I do need to take some time to thank our Ko-fi supporters, tell you ways that you can support the show, and keep you updated on some other fun little things. To begin, thank you to all of our Ko-fi members who have helped support the show up till this point. Thanks to you, we were able to afford new microphones for Cleric and Joe. They don't make an appearance here, but you'll hear them in a couple of episodes' time where hopefully the quality skyrockets, at least on Cleric's end. But thank you to Skilled Not Sane, Daydori, Akima, and Funzo Surawali. If you're interested in helping support the show financially, you can head over to our Ko-fi page where I sometimes write blog posts about what we're doing behind the scenes, and if we have any announcements, you'll find the details there. You can also just follow and keep up to date with us. Just go to ko-fi.com/monsterloverpod. That's ko-fi.com/monsterloverpod. You can also support us for free. If you're listening on Spotify, you can head on over to the mobile app, I believe, and give a rating of your choice. We would prefer 4-star or above, but I'm not going to pull your leg. You do what feels right. You can also head over to the Podchaser website and type in Monsterfuckers Anonymous. And if you feel like leaving a written review, that would at least make my day. If you want to talk to us directly, you can find us on Twitter at MonsterLoverPod. All of this information is also in the show notes. And if you're listening on Spotify, you can actually find a little poll for your favorite monster of the episode. The audience winner doesn't get anything other than the knowledge that they were objectively correct. That is it from me. A little ad is going to play, but after that, I hope you enjoy the rest of the episode.
All right, Joe, can you read out the overall scores for the Spirit of Death?
Yeah. So Cleric never, your scores did not go above a 2 whatsoever, which is amazing. Cleric, your overall score for Death of Suspiria, a 1.3.
Yeah,
for me is a 3.5, which, what can you do? And for RK, that is a 2.4. So overall, I forgot to calculate the average.
Yeah, we'll give it a time, but I think I know what it is. This might be our lowest ranked monster. Is this taking over Mothman? Is this beating out Mothman? Let's go!
It's very possible.
I hope it.
2.4.
I think so. With this low,
does it?
It's lower than Mothman.
Let's go! I'm no longer the lowest monster. Let's fucking go.
Sorry. Okay. And our overall average for Death between the three of us is a 2.4.
Let's fucking go. That is the lowest ranked monster. It replaces Mothman. I'm no longer on the bottom, only on the top, baby.
We have the rest of the season, however, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see if we fucking stand there.
We can share our victories.
No, I only win. Only me.
Okay.
I'm sitting on my throne, kicking you down.
Shit. Damn.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, that's very reasonable. I think this is a monster that is very not really possible. Just genuinely just isn't.
Absolutely.
Really weighed it down.
Absolutely.
So that's all for the spiteful Spirit of Death. RK, do you want to talk about the monster you were bringing to the table?
I'd love to talk about my monster. My monster is the Babadook.
Ooh.
The Babadook, a tall, pale-faced creature in black with claw-like fingers. This monster, from the 2014 movie of the same name, is summoned by reading a children's book. He'll knock 3 times before he shows up at your door and infests your mind with visions of him. But don't be worried, because you can never get rid of the Babadook. So yes, the Babadook.
What's drawing you to the Babadook? Okay, let me see that. Let me ask that first.
First off, he's a gay icon.
He's a gay icon.
Yes, he's a gay icon.
Secondly, he's such a silly monster.
He's such a silly little guy.
He's a silly little guy.
I don't know if you've watched the movie.
No, I haven't.
But his whole thing that he does for most of the movie is just kind of stand in the distance and just flex his finger claws. And it's
I do that too.
Silly.
I do that too.
there's even a part, like there's a scene in the movie where he like sneaks into the main character's bedroom and like climbs on the ceiling. Except instead of looking creepy, it looks kind of like he's doing floor work, like you would see at like at like a dance hall, except on the ceiling, and it's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're going for like, oh, this is a horrific scare. For me, I was like, he's just performing. He's doing a little dance.
He's doing a little dance, doing his little doo.
Is he, as far as his body goes, is this floor work? Does he have like multiple like appendages or something? Is he like spider-like? Is maybe the like
he's
fear
not
part?
Spider-like is my thing. He's like a man in a coat with a top hat. Except
man.
He has like really long, sharp fingers. But the other thing is, and this is something that I noticed when I watched it, he seems to have a shape-shifting ability that he uses. So he shapeshifts and like he can make his arms longer than they seem. He can like change his coat to be different shapes and sizes. He also like, there's one scene where he like takes off his clothes, I can best explain it as, but you never see what he looks like underneath them. Like you see the hat fall down the chimney, you see his coat fall off, but you never see what he looks like without his clothing on. And it's very interesting.
He's shot.
So here's something I want to share, because I decided to look up Babadook like images so I get a better image of like what they look like in the movie to so I can have a better image of it. I would like to share something that I saw while on Google Images that now if I'm burdened with this, we all have to be burdened with this.
Of course.
So here is people shipping the Babadook and Pennywise the It Clown.
With Pennywise.
Yes, this is I've seen this already.
What?
This is a very popular thing that people have done on the internet, you know how people like shipped the Onceler with himself?
Yeah,
I do remember that. Yeah.
There aren't two white men in this movie to ship together, so they shipped the Babadook with Pennywise.
Of course.
You only really see his face twice in the movie, and even then it's not great shots. One of them's taken at a distance, the other one's when he's dancing on the ceiling. And he's like very pale, he has like black painted lips, and like wild eyes.
Is this a white man?
I don't think he's a white man. I think he's doing whiteface. Because it's clearly like powder that's on his face.
Wow, we love a subversive king. Okay, I'm really trying to break a lot of things down here. The Babadook, I feel like this is your... Like, I'm really trying to think of a personality for the Babadook, because the Babadook is just like he's either like the creepy guy who like watches you and is like, hey baby, how you doing? Or he's that like overdressed like goth gay, which I think is more accurate.
I think it's the second one.
Yeah.
He's also very dramatic.
Yeah.
Like very, very dramatic.
He's an old queen.
Yeah.
Like, so the whole thing on how they like get haunted by the Babadook in the movie is that like they find a children's book in her son's bedroom, which I don't know why the book was there in the first place, but they find this book, they read it, and it's the story of the Babadook, and it's just like, oh, this is Mr. Babadook, he's a friend, blah, 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 blah. Then you get to the end, and it's a horror story, basically. And the whole thing is that he'll knock he'll knock 3 times before he shows up. And like, you can never get rid of him, blah, 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 blah. So it's very dramatic. And the whole thing is, and let me just say, what does the sound of a knock sound like to you?
It's like Kez, put in a Foley sound of a knock in post-recording.
Yeah, so that's what that sounds like to you. The reason he's called the Babadook, though, is because that's the sound it makes when he knocks. It goes Baba, Duke, Duke, Duke. And I think that's so funny.
That's
to
the
be like,
dumbest thing
I'm
I've heard
gonna
in a
make
while.
up my own sound for knocking.
That's so fucking dumb. I'm sorry. That's
That's like how he approaches you as a monster, and I think that's very funny.
Oh my god, you know what'll really scare them? Just like, we do a Baba, Duke, 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 and then they'll know I'm there. Oh my god, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be like, this is an overdramatic, like, goth gay. which is not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. There's also, so I mentioned the shape shifting and everything. In the sequence of the story, he kind of like, he represents like grief and depression.
Oh.
Which, like, my grief and depression have fucked me over enough. Why can't I fuck it? You know? That's my personal opinion.
These are true factors.
And, like, at the very end of the story, when they've defeated the Babadook, it's basically like the main character acknowledges that the Babadook exists, and that takes away his power a little bit. And he then shrinks and becomes tiny, and they manage to just lock him in the basement, and then he just lives in their basement for forever.
That's actually so fucking sad. Wait, like, I acknowledge you exist, now stay in the back. Like, that's just tragic.
It's more of, from what I've seen with it, it's more of like, hey, I acknowledge you exist, but you will not take over everything that I have.
Oh, okay.
That's so interesting.
And like every day the mom seems like has to go back and deal with the Babadook. And like there's a scene where she leaves the basement after seeing the Babadook, like, and giving him his quote unquote food. And the son goes, "Oh, how was it today? Like, how was he? Is everything okay?" And the mom's like, "Oh, it was quiet today. Like, it was pretty easy today."
Oh.
Which I think like really does a great job of symbolizing like what it's like fighting with depression and grief.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's actually pretty cool. I like that. All right. I think we should jump into the Papa scale with that kind of thought process.
Yeah.
For possibility.
I mean, you just have to acknowledge that it exists, right? Like, that's the whole thing?
No, because if, RK, correct me if I'm wrong, they had to have read it in a book, like the Babadook book, which randomly appeared in their home.
Yeah, so the whole thing is like, you need to know about the Babadook. Like, you need to have heard that it exists for it to appear, which is strange, and it is truly never explained how the book shows up in their home.
Of course.
At no point is it explained. It's just like she tells her son, "Hey, go pick a book from the shelf," and he picks up that one, and she reads it.
Okay, so this makes the possibility very low. If the Babadook shows up, then the possibility is higher, but you first have to know about the Babadook, which was a movie out now, so it's easier. But if in this situation, you would have to know about the Babadook, which is already hard, and then B, randomly find a magical book that reveals the Babadook's existence, which lowers possibility. I'm going to give this a 4.
I see that.
I feel that. And considering that I gave Death a 1.5, I think that I will actually give the Babadook a 5.
Yeah.
Because it kind of feels like one of the prerequisites for this as well. They never say it in the book, is having depression. And that feels like it's much more likely nowadays. Or at least we're much better at acknowledging that exists, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll do a 4.5, just like in an indecisive middle. I think just because I don't know why it just showing up feels like it doesn't need to be explained to me. I think it can just be another symbolic thing of like, maybe this was like a congenital passed down situation, or maybe it's because like the husband gets like killed in a car accident or something.
Yeah, that's what happens in the movie.
Yeah, it could be like just a remnant sort of thing that's like representative, and like I like that, so I'll say like a 4.5.
Yeah, okay, I'm with it. Attractiveness. How attractive is the Babadook?
I gotta say, I can't look at its man face. I can look at the silly little cartoony one, but the man face, white face is terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, white people terrify me in general, but
exactly.
If it's the gay icon Babadook, then there's a lot of attractiveness goes up for me because like tall. No, but RK, what do you think? Let me start off with you.
I personally don't find the Babadook very attractive when it comes to like the big monster, but the idea of a like shape-shifting whatever seems very fun.
Yeah.
Especially in the sense of like in this, like at the very end, like the climax of the whole movie, like the Babadook goes from like dom top to sub bottom, and I love a switch.
True. Okay, that does change things. So what's your score for it?
I will give you one more thing, which will probably drop your score for the Babadook for everybody.
Okay.
He does cause the main character to unalive their dog.
Oh, that's weird.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like that controlling, like kill your parents. It's like no, if you want to still be with me, you gotta do it, or like cut off your friend. Like to be a more realistic answer, it's like cut off your friends. I don't like your friends anymore. It's like no, I don't like. Why would I do like no? If you want to still be together, you gotta cut off your friends. Like that part of the personality definitely doesn't drive me. 2. My heart's saying 2 or 3. I think I'm gonna stick with the 2, the lower end.
I'm sorry, 1. I can't.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna stick with the 2 as well.
Yeah,
it's truly the unaliving the dog that's too much for me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd be much higher.
Yeah, I'm not with it. Yeah, that's not. All right, audacity. How audacious it is to bang the fucking Babadook. I think it's kind of audacious because.
It's not too audacious to approach, I guess, because he just shows up.
True, exactly. Like the Babadook is coming to you, but I think this is under the same lines that we talked about before of like banging your sleep paralysis demon. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the thing with the sleep paralysis demon though is that like no face. So if you want to deal with white face or no face, I definitely go no face.
Oh yeah, no face.
all the time.
I'd agree with no face as well.
Yeah. Like Question from DC, hot.
Oh, 100%.
So hot.
Oh my god, I'd make out with that man so fast.
The other thing is like you can't get rid of the Babadook.
Yeah,
that's like the whole plot is like you can't get rid of it. That's why he's locked in the basement.
So it ends up being like you're clingy, like super clingy. Like there's no way you can get rid, like always with you. Or like again, depression metaphor. But
it reminds me of the Black Mirror clone guy in the attic.
Yeah,
I hated that episode. I can't.
This is pretty odd. I'm gonna give this a 2 again. I'm gonna give this a 2.
I don't think it's a 2 at the same time.
You know, I'll up it to a 3. I think this would be a 3 because it's not as audacious. Like it's like it makes sense. Like it can happen because the Babadook comes to you, but to continue a relationship with this freak who unalives dogs and like will never leave you alone,
will make you unalive your dog.
Yeah.
I feel like I could do a hookup. I don't think I could do a full relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The problem with that is the Babadook would be like, it's a hookup. Will be like, now we're bonded for life. Let's get married. Mm-hmm. Like, what are we talking about? Mm-hmm. What are our future kids going to be? It's like, whoa, I just wanted to fuck, dog. The Babadook is becoming less and less attractive the more we talk about the Babadook. I kind of want to like bump the score down again.
I think it's a 4 audacity for me.
I was going to say a 3.5, so I'm right around the same range.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Parental approval. How
I want to talk about this real
quick. Go for it.
Because I think this is very funny. I think parental approval is a 0.5. And here is why.
Interesting.
Here is why. As someone who has depression / has other immigrant friends who have depression, all of us have bonded over the fact that our families do not think the depression exists.
Yeah.
And I think it would be the same situation for Babadook.
Yeah.
They'd literally be like, just go for a walk outside. It'll be fine.
What do you mean your boyfriend is real? Yeah.
Just do some exercise. Have you ever thought about doing push-ups? That'll make you improve your life.
Shit.
Have you ever thought about like eating a little healthier? Like that should just like fix everything.
You're always on your phone, so that must be like what's going on. Like you just like put the phone down.
You're always talking to your friends. You need to spend more time praying.
Listen, when I feel like depression is going to get out of me, I like to pray to God, and suddenly I'm all cured.
God comes over and says, "No, thank you," and my depression just goes away.
Yeah, God says, "Damn, that's crazy." Boom, boom, boom.
Holy shit!
I was gonna do this whole bit like, no, I think RK nailed it. I think it has to be a 0.5. I'll be real.
I was gonna say it might be higher for some reason. Like I feel like. If I just take a picture very far away with the Babadook and show it to my parents would be like, oh, like a respectable a white businessman. I love that for you. But like even with we've made the FaceTime argument a considerable amount of times. Can't even FaceTime. His face is too scary.
Mm-hmm.
in all the previous arguments I was going to make, one, I've recently found out my parents don't like white people. Well, my mother doesn't, so that's an immediate, like, no. But it's knocked down even more because it's a man, and my parents are homophobic, as I've stated before. So this would have to be like a 1, but I think RK's 0.5 makes the most sense.
It does.
I'm going to stick with a 0.5. I'm going to agree with RK on this one.
Yeah.
Listen, I know what I'm doing with this one. You guys said parental acceptance, and I know exactly what my parents would say.
That's fucking wild. The Babadook fucking sucks. What the fuck?
The docility, the domesticity at the end, though, it's very there is something to that, but it's not everything.
All right, I guess we're gonna pause for math. Okay, Joe. Break down the scores for us for the Babadook.
They're definitely looking better from death. For Cleric, a resounding 2.4.
That's pretty high.
For me, a 2.5. And then for RK, a 2.8. So altogether, between the three of us, the Babadook gets a 2.6.
Okay. I mean, that's literally 3 points higher than death. So
2 points higher
2
than
points.
Death,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And 1 point just under Mothman.
That's crazy, honestly. This is maybe horror
perhaps
monsters.
The lowest guess.
Yeah. Maybe
we picked some bad monsters or monsters that are not very fuckable.
Maybe horror monsters aren't meant to be fucked.
The thing, though, is that so many of the horror movie, monster TM, are just men. They are just dudes.
Yeah. Like Michael Myers is just a dude. So I guess my pick, I don't think is going to get any higher than anyone else's, to be honest. I picked a very interesting pick, and I want the audience to be a little bit surprised. So I'm just going to jump right into my description. Okay, everybody? Tee-hee? I forgot to cue it up. My bad. Wait, 3, 2, so that's all for I'm going to say the bodacious Babadook. And now it's time for my pick, and I want the audience to be surprised with us. So I'm going to quickly just jump straight into my description. Constance Nebbercracker was an unwilling member of a circus freak show until she met the love of her life, who whisked her away to the suburbs to build a home together. While the house was being built, children began to torment her. Once the bullying got too much, she attempted to chase the children away, only to lose her balance, fall into the unfinished basement, and become a part of the foundation. As her haunted spirit became tangled into the very structure of the home, her vengeful spirit possessed it, becoming the infamous Monster House.
So, Cleric, you want to fuck a house?
Oh, 100% I do. You can't tell me you haven't looked at a house and been like, damn, that Gregorian architecture could get it. You can't tell me you haven't looked at a building and thought, I'd clap that if that was a person.
This is the Virgo, the pick. What
do you mean? What do you mean by that? Break that down.
Because you want to date a house, so there's just an immediate you want security, you want stability in a woman, you want something that can provide a future for you. There's a lot of stuff that really grounds you to a house. You wouldn't have to pay a mortgage, which is nice.
A house is a commitment.
A house is a commitment. A relationship is a commitment. Also, this is a married woman, so you have to. I'm assuming that her husband has died in this.
Yeah,
moment,
she's very attached to her husband. That's something that she found out. She's very attached to him. Even when everyone was telling her husband, hey, let her go. She's a fucking vengeful house that eats children and lures children to eat them because she fucking hates children. Even at this mere suggestion and him even considering it, she got very upset and very sad.
Yeah.
So she has some phases. She has her regular house phase, so she can control everything, her front lawn, the front lawn. She can control the sidewalk, everything about it. She's also she can control all of that. The inside of her house is basically the structure of a human body, and I bring this up because I want to ask the question to you, RK. And again, the inside of her home, the inside of her is
it's Vor.
It's Max and Min.
So
I want to change my pick.
No,
I want to change it.
Sit with this. Sit with this, Virgo.
Sit with your choice.
I wanted to ask the question to you, RK. Where's the hussy? Where is the house pussy located?
I can tell you where the house bussy is. I would assume that that's the cellar door. If there's a cellar door, that would be it. But normally a cellar door is in the back. So if I had to say where the hussy is, funnily enough, and this, you might disagree with me, as someone who has never slept with someone who has a vagine,
Vagina.
I would say it's the boiler.
It's a strong. It's your center. It's where all the warmth is. That makes sense.
Yep.
Just imagine sticking your dick in a boiler.
You don't have to have a huge cock to fuck a cellar, so I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
She controls the inside like beautifully. Like she can control every aspect of the inside. Like, like she can.
She's a shapeshifter.
Shapeshifter, yes, but only for houses.
For her inside.
Yeah, like she's also very smart. Like it's not just like I eat children. It's like she actually lured a police officer to get closer. It was like, hey, once it like
ACAB
and she ate the police officer.
She's an ACAB queen.
She ACAB. She hates the police. Ate that bitch. But she does hate children.
Something pretty sick that she could do is just like let the bodies decompose, and just like she just makes trees from like the dead cop bodies.
Yeah, 100% she could do that.
That's beautiful.
That's how she fertilizes the lawn.
Yeah,
exactly. What she does to like trap people is the husband would take like things that run on the lawn because he was trying to protect people. Like, hey, once it's on my lawn, don't come get it. It's mine now.
Yeah.
So you don't come over here. And then he'd put them in the house. What she would do was take those items and lure people in with them. So like say a child lost a tricycle, another one was walking by. She literally put a tricycle on the lawn. They could walk on the lawn. She would move the tricycle like further and further, closer and closer to the house. She'd then get on the lawn. As soon as she was close to the house, her like carpet tongue would one out, grab her and eat the kid.
So this is vor.
I want to go to the Popo scale now. I don't want to.
I don't know, Claire. This whole process involves fucking a house.
And, you know, who hasn't wanted to have sex with a home?
Architecture is sexy.
RK, you can't tell me. You have not looked at a museum. You haven't looked at a book. You haven't looked at something and said, damn,
you haven't
that
told
was sex.
me.
You can't tell me. You literally can't.
I can't believe I'm having to be the cleric of this round.
You mean you can't? Like, there's always a building. People describe buildings as sexy. Like, that's a sexy building over there.
Maybe architecture just doesn't do it for me.
This is an amazing, the pinnacle of hostile architecture.
Hot, so.
But like not for homeless people, just for cops and children. Like I get that.
I will say it is in the suburbs. I don't like being in the suburbs, so that's like if it was like an apartment building, changes the game. Instant 10 out of 10.
This is also kind of just like you're fucking a mimic, really.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, that basically is, yes.
Possibility is an 8. Like this is, you just have to walk onto a lawn, like a haunted lawn. But there is a scary man. I guess we would be dead in this situation, but like if he's still alive, that would be the only obstacle, I think.
Yeah.
I would say the possibility is a little less, because this is in the suburbs. There are a lot of houses in the suburbs. You'd have to find the right house that's eating people.
It is a very decrepit home.
I feel like the neighbors will tell you, though, the suburbs. Yeah. That's sort of how it works. Like, where's the haunted place?
Hey, where's the house that eats people that I can fuck? Where is she at? Where's she sitting?
Where's that house at? We already know.
I mean, you don't go up to people and just you don't ask someone like, hey, where's like this person so that I could fuck them. Like you just say, hey, where this person is.
Honestly, in 2022, people do that.
I mean,
I was going to say something that I had a feeling about with this. Oh, yeah. Her last name, I think, is a great last name.
Yeah.
She doesn't fuck white people. That her last name's Nebbercracker.
Yeah. I guess her husband's
white,
mixed.
Oh,
white. No, I think he's just straight up white. But that would be really funny.
Well, that was his last name.
Right.
He took her last name. I don't think they stated her first name. I'm just gonna check real quick.
Her first name's Constance.
Yeah.
You mean her last name?
Yeah, her last name. It's Constance. They never reveal her first name, just because they go by her freak. The only thing they ever do is contact her by her freak show name, which is very rude, I think.
Okay.
But so I'm gonna go with a possibility of like 6. I'm gonna say
for sure.
I will agree. I'll give this a 6. I'll give this a 7. Suburbs are easy to find. There's always haunted places around the suburbs. You can find this. And, I'll also bring up the physical aspect of it. The inside of the home has human anatomy. You gotta have a hussy. And you think Nebbercracker was in that house all those years and didn't fuck the house? There's no way. You can't tell me that man.
Where do you think the hussy is? Washer.
Interesting.
Then what would you say the dryer is?
The second hussy.
The bladder.
What the... Why wouldn't the washer be the bladder?
Actually, my bad. You're right. It's the clitoris. Spin cycle.
What?
I don't.
In the movie,
everyone, I have a confession. I don't know how the human body works.
Specifically, a vagine.
Yeah.
In the movie, like, the front door is her mouth,
Yes.
and the carpet is her tongue.
Yes.
Like, that is very clearly demonstrated, and she even has a uvula, as
She
far
does.
as I'm aware.
She then opens up a throat goat, which I like to call her. She's a little bit of a throat goat because she opens up a hole in the ground, which is filled with sharp teeth that descends into the basement where she consumes you.
You said it's filled with sharp teeth?
The hole is filled with sharp teeth.
That means...
Vagina dentata.
Yes, exactly. She could have vagina dentata.
Not the one.
I mean, the thing with vagina dentata with teeth is that like she needed to trust you in order for the teeth to not come out.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can build that trust.
yeah,
I got that.
Every time you look over at her hussy, one day.
We'll get there together. We'll build a relationship. That's the consistency. We'll build that. This is a house, a home, and we'll build it.
Can I bring up
together.
something for attractiveness?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
I feel like I don't know if we have to average out. Like, what are we going to do as far as like, are we talking about Constance's attractiveness or is the house's?
The house is
appearance? I mean, I guess
the house.
I think
Okay.
it has to be the house, because
Yeah,
Constance
'cause
isn't a
it is-
monster. Constance is a person.
Yeah.
that's true.
The house.
Yeah, this is her monster form.
Yes.
It's not like ugly or like attractive in a humanoid form sense. Not that it has to be a humanoid form sense. I'm just trying to conceptualize a score.
I will say the house is, if we're going by architectural standards, it is not a pretty home.
Yeah, it's like falling apart.
The
isn't it?
home, as like, because her spirit infested the home, it ages with her. So since it's been like all these years, the home is slowly being more and more like decrepit and all that. Though, could she shapeshift to look like a better home? Is the question. I'm going to say yes. She chooses not to.
I think not for long though.
Yeah.
Probably like she has to like re-up
Yeah.
with children and cops.
Yeah. So I think if we're going by the standard home that she has that we see in the film, that is not an attractive house. Her personality, she's very smart, she's cunning, she's very like wants to build, like she loves her husband. She loves and protects her husband. Like anyone who threatens her husband immediately, like the cop threatened to arrest her husband and she said, "Fuck you," it ate the cop.
Fuck you. Yeah.
So she is a protector. She's someone who's going to protect you. Will you have to probably bury some bodies? Yes, but she will. She's a home builder. She's a
Here's
lover.
the thing, though. You may have to bury those bodies, but she's going to make it easy for you because she can just move the 6 feet of dirt for you. You don't even have to dig.
Exactly. She is a provider. I'm giving this a 7.
I'll do 6.
I will actually also go with 6, and here's why. The thought of chores just being a little easier is very attractive to me. Like, I wouldn't have to do lawn care. Amazing.
Never again.
And I would have a house with multiple bedrooms. Amazing. Like, I feel like this would be a good time. But you can never go into the attic because that's where her brain is. And you don't want to mess around with that.
True.
Which has nothing to do with attractiveness. I just felt like mentioning.
Yeah. Well, since she can shapeshift, I think it's because like her spirit is built into the foundation of the home. So technically, I think her brain is literally the foundation.
Okay, so not fully a human's anatomy.
Because once they blew up the house, they completely blew up and like fucked over the foundation of the home, and like did that. That's when her spirit was released.
Did her husband die with her?
No, I think he lived. I think he lived like very briefly. I don't remember if she died with it.
No, she gets like concrete. She like falls into the concrete of the home. I'm talking if at the end of the movie does the husband die?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to.
Does his soul fly up with her? Because if they blew the house up, then like where the fuck is the man? I think he like
because the chimney is the heart. She threw it down the chimney, it goes down to like the center, and that's where it explodes, and like she dies.
So they really murder her in this children's movie.
Yeah.
Nebbercracker doesn't seem to be dying. I'm not seeing anything about him dying.
I've been reading a lot about psychobiddy or like hagsploitation, and I mean, Constance being viewed as the hag in this case, and the metaphor of her being a house is how I think the children's movie version of hagsploitation.
Yeah.
It very much is that, I think. Like, she wasn't very, like, she may have not liked children at all, in like, because, again, I understand that. Yeah, who does? But the kids taunted her, and were like, just because of how she looked and how she, like, her body and everything like that. And because she got fed up and like finally lashed out, like her husband was like, don't deal with it. Like, listen, I love you. That's what matters. Like, let's understand that. That's what's important. And those kids just kept taunting her. And then eventually when she couldn't do it, that's how she died. So I think it is that. It's very much like she's eating kids, but that's only after she became a fucking like haunted home. I don't think her as a person was not the villain. It was the children.
I agree.
Yeah. Fuck the kids.
Fuck the kids.
Audacity, though. Vor, vagina dentata, killing cops, killing children.
I can't win.
There's a lot of elements of this that I feel like, ooh, you're stepping into something that you want to step into, but I don't think everyone else wants you to.
I want this to be stated. I'm not into Vor.
Okay. You have to say it. Okay.
We're going to have to say it out loud. I'm going to get tweets. I don't want that.
Someone's going to audio fucking doctor it to say that you do like Vor.
Kez is going to do that. Kez is probably going to do it in the recording.
It's just like took and stilted. I like Vor. I
want this to be stated. I'm into Vor.
You can't argue with me when I said that this is Vor.
No, you're not wrong.
You can't.
You're not
absolutely not wrong.
Which is the worst part.
I don't think it's audacious though. Not that audacious anyway. Like as far as like approaching it, my possibility, what did I say? Was an 8. So like mildly factoring that into the audacity. I think if you show up to her and you say like, I'm here for you. I want to be in this house and build a life with you. And then she's just like, oh my God, you're not a child and you love me. I'll try. And then you try together and then you love each other and then you have a home as well as a wife.
Mm-hmm. What's your number?
Are any children you have going to be sheds?
You're not going to have no children. No children.
They're toolboxes.
Any extension of the house that you build for her is almost just like, here's some extra arms. Like, here you go. I love you so much. Here's some more.
Well, then would that be considered like plastic surgery because you're adding something like you're doing like cosmetic changes or structural changes?
Yeah, like giving her a new coat of paint would be like plastic surgery, kind of.
Ah,
or makeup. That's sweet.
Hey, welcome to our new podcast, House Anatomy, where we go into
House's Anatomy. I say just above average. 6. Fairly approachable.
Okay. Cursed question for you all. Mm-hmm. I hope you're all prepared for this.
Of course.
I always am.
What happens if you use a toilet inside of her house?
You're shitting and pissing inside of her.
There's some things you have to accept when you have a house as a lover. There's some things you gotta be ready for.
You don't have to worry about STIs. You don't have to worry about hygiene.
You don't have to worry about splinters. You just worry about splinters.
I mean,
termites.
Technically, I guess like a shower would be her pissing on you,
pissing back on you.
It's lovely. It's hygienic.
I hate
cleaning
this
each other with your piss.
I don't even know what to do anymore now.
We had to talk about water sports at some point.
Yeah, I know we did.
I just feel like that's important to consider.
Of course. Of course.
And then, like, if you invite your friends over to, like, play board games, you're really just asking them, like, when they go to the bathroom, like, hey, just, like, piss on my girlfriend real quick.
Not just on.
Real quick.
Yeah.
You know? And that feels like a choice. You made this choice, Cleric.
Yeah, you get into a lot of, like, it's like, hey, welcome to our house. Like, the kitchen's over there. There's a foyer. If you're going to use the bathroom, ask permission, not from me, but from her. Who's her? The home, silly. You want me to stay out loud like I'm going to pee, like, in the house? Yes. If you don't, she's not going to like that. All right, whatever. Goes to pee, doesn't say please. The toilet comes up and chomps and just removes everything.
Yep. Gross toilet dentata. Come on.
Is the audacity? Is the piss part of the audacity score?
Just give numbers. I want to be done with this. 4.
I gave mine.
I know 4.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say 6. I feel like this would be pretty audacious.
Now, finally, parental approval. I think this is actually high parental approval.
I think this is a high parental approval too.
If I bought a fucking home and said, this is it, this is where I live / fuck, I think my parents would be, well, not the fuck part, but my parents would be like, wow, I can't believe you, a single person, was able to afford a home and maintain it. That's kind of crazy. That's my child. I'm finally proud of you.
I fully agree with that. I think that, like, I have a sibling who recently bought a home and I saw how proud my parents were. I think that they'd be very proud about that. Because, like, buying a home is, like, a sense of commitment.
Mortgage already paid off. You have to worry about getting your deed recorded, but like,
yeah.
Fuck
and
it.
like, if anyone ever comes to collect a bill, your house will eat them. What are they going to do?
You wouldn't have to worry about student loans payments. You don't have to worry about repo people because they will eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. Easy choice. I'm going to give this a 9.
Oh, yeah.
I actually agree with you, and I'm also going to give it 9.
I'm going to give it a 9. This might be my 10.
Wow.
We didn't give any 10s yet.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. Give it a 10. Fuck it.
We got 1 10. RK.
I will also give this a 10 as well.
Incredible, Cleric. You
across
did
the
it.
board. Boom, 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 boom. But with that, I think we're finished talking about the Monster House. At least I think I spiritually am. Don't talk about my vor home.
Don't talk about my wife like that.
My wife like that. Bust romance. So, Joe, read off the final scores for the Monster House.
How is Kes supposed to transition from that? You went immediately into
it.
Yeah, no, that's it. That's you talking is now the transition.
Okay, cool.
That's what you get.
Okay,
Kes.
cool.
Figure it out.
Cool.
Figure it out.
For Constance Nebbercracker of Monster House, Cleric got a 7, I got a 7.5, and RK also got a 7. So this gives Constance a very strong 7.2 for this episode between the three of us.
Boom! I win. That's just the choice, just like that. I win this episode.
I didn't realize this was a competition.
It is, and I always win.
It's only to Cleric. It is only a competition to Cleric.
Because if this was a competition, I would have picked somebody else.
That's why I don't tell the guests that. We don't tell anybody about it because it's like,
oh my god, you fucking toxic cunt.
But with that, Joe, can you read off the overall scores for this entire episode?
Yeah, from the highest to the lowest. Cleric's choice, Constance Nebbercracker of Monster Hearts Monster House with a 7.2 is our highest. Our winner, I guess.
Listen, I'm trying to build a house. I'm trying to build a home. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build a home, not a house.
RK's choice of the Babadook is a 2.6, right in the middle. And my choice, unfortunately, the Incarnation of Death from the movie Suspiria got a 2.4.
Which is
our loser.
Officially our lowest ranked monster of MFA.
Mm-hmm.
I think to a degree, yours being the highest so far, mine being the lowest, it makes sense.
Yes, because I'm the best.
Or you're a fucking virgin normie.
The Crystal Dragon is hot. I don't want to.
Because you're a coward.
Yeah.
All right. A lot of things happening at the end of this call.
Right?
A lot of things happening at the end of this call right now. But let's just jump to our closing thoughts. First of all, RK, thank you for joining us today. This was a lot of fun.
So
this was an extreme amount of fun. Do you have any closing thoughts? Anything you want to shout out? Anything you want to say?
Cleric loves vor.
Loves vor.
But if you want to find me on other places on the internet, you can find me on most social media things as Russ Wildest. You can find me on the podcast Fear and Living Color, and also on the stream Kemp Carnage on Friends Who Rolled Dice's Twitch channel. Mm-hmm. So those are all the places you can find me. Oh, you can also find me as a pro GM. I GM games for money on startplayinggames.com.
Nice. Joe, closing thoughts for you.
How pussy equals no mortgage payments.
Sweet. And for us here at MFA, my closing thoughts, thank you for listening to our return episode. We're really excited to start recording again, start getting episodes out to y'all. I know we're having a great season planned. So tune in, check it out, see what else we got, what other monsters will come up, what other fucking weird kinks are going to emerge, and who else we can get to sit through 2 hours of us fucking being horny on main. So with that, Joe, do we want to say goodbye?
Yes, together.
Together now.
Ready?
3, 2, 1. Bye.
Bye.
What else do you think isn't real? That's decidedly real.
Round Earth. No, I'm kidding. I'm trying to flutter.
That was a little too fast.